Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kostuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center, New York, Kostuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Monday, Makeover Monday, we used to call it. Sort of like a refresh, a chance to recalibrate. Sometimes we feel like, oh, last week I dropped the ball on this. I fell short on this. Guess what? It's Monday. You can reinvent yourself. For everything you feel like you did wrong, guess what? It's a new week to work on your morning, putting some good stuff in your mind, putting some good stuff in your mouth, associating with good people, eliminating criticism and fault finding and complaining. And you know what? If you did bad last week, it's a new week. We're starting over. Good morning, Kostuba. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing okay, Raghunath.
All right. I'm psyched to see you this week. Coming up to the farm.
Yeah.
Personal friendship, personal intimacy, hugging. I'm a hugger. Will you hug me when you see me?
Briefly, yes.
Ever get those hugs? They go a little longer than expected. You're like,
a little
okay,
too long.
go of me. I'm an extra hugger. I'll hug that extra 4 seconds. Put
Some
the person in
people are
confusion.
real long huggers.
Long huggers. I gotta go. Are you one of those? I gotta go now. I have plans. Free me from your grip.
I'm just like an average hugger. I'm not short. I'm not long.
Like a hug, let
normal.
go, release. It's like a hug and release.
Yeah, you hug, you release.
Mara, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Mara is garden conscious. We're obsessed with gardens. That's what we do here. Planting, water, and seeding, finding personality in plants.
Well, we're trying to make the property look nice for the Wisdom of the Sages retreat this weekend.
Yeah, it's fun, exciting. And we'll probably have some open kirtans if you're local. So if you're local, we'll put it up on the local thread. All right. Any other announcements, Miss Mayor?
Yeah, we have Bhakti Recovery Group meetings at 1, 2, and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's also in-person meetings happening in Mayapur, Alachua, Nashville, and New York City.
It's real. And just a little shout out that for the LA Rath Yatra, if you want to ever go to LA Rath Yatra, it's pretty awesome. We're doing Wisdom of the Sages workshop Friday night and Saturday day, and Sunday is the Rath Yatra. So if you're interested or in the LA area, want to hang with me, Kostuba, and Mara, get some classes in, get some live Sweet Baby Krishnas, get some live podcasts, and get some kirtans going. It's all happening at Veda Yoga in Los Angeles. So
they got a new place, huh?
They got a new place. You know what it is? If you're familiar with LA, it's the old Iyengar studio.
I'm not.
Yeah. So it's exciting. It's very close to the Los Angeles temple. So you can go to the temple, go to they have a great restaurant there. Really great restaurant. It's been going on forever. Alrighty. And I don't have any other announcements.
It's okay.
So we're going to go into one of my, if you've been on the show, you know that I mention all the time that there's about 27 songs that run through my head on rotation since I was 4 years old. This is one of them. And Kostuba picked it as a nugget.
I
It's from-
remember, I have memories of this song.
Me too. It's like 8th grade.
You know,
I think I had a Kansas belt buckle.
I have to, I appreciate the message in the song now. I appreciate it more than I could appreciate it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, Kansas was definitely not what I wanted to be listening to.
Oh, really?
And
I just didn't know what was cool, so I just like ran the gamut. I wore Kansas belt buckles, REO Speedwagon belt buckles, Jay Giles band. I didn't know no one told me what was cool, and I wasn't quite sure, and I wasn't ready to opt into like long hair and tall, tight pants. It wasn't until punk that I really got into music.
Well, I remember the video because you and I were kind of raised on the birth of MTV, right?
Yes, we were. It was the
The
birth of
videos weren't really so much of a thing before that.
Only a few bands had them, like
Yeah,
Adam and the
there were.
Ants, the B-52s, Devo.
A few others out there. But once MTV kicked off, now you had to make videos.
That was, matter of fact, that was one of the more exciting times of my life when MTV just started off.
All right, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But there's
Come
a
on.
video for this song, Dust in the Wind, that was just like, it's like, what are you guys thinking,
What was it?
It was just them. They're kind of like dressed in like, they kind of like have almost like tuxedos, like they just came from the prom or like from a wedding or something like that, But they're like these Grizzly Adam looking kind of guys, with big beards and real long hair, and they're sitting there like very solemnly singing the song, and it's kind of got like all kind of really cheesy, the cheesiest of background kind of fog, blowing lots of fog around and stuff. But hey,
you know what? Whatever.
yeah, that was
We don't
just
judge people by their
external.
tuxedos.
Yeah,
That's all external.
There's a depth of, there's kind of like a although the song is about time, it's kind of like a timeless wisdom conveyed through the song. And I read, Raghunath, that did a little research. The Kansas guitarist Kenny Livgren wrote this song, Dust in the Wind, after reading a book of Native American poetry. The line that caught his attention was, "For all we are is dust in the wind."
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was trying to reach he was being inspired by a wisdom tradition. He was tapping into something that's is timeless. It's travels through, it's like it runs through all the wisdom traditions and comes to the surface. It's important thoughts here.
It's very easy to get caught up in the minutia of my existence, like the minutia of any pain that's pressing worry, pressing fear. And I tell you, we're all on our backs one day, just like leaving our body, and we invested so much time and anxiety. Come on, it's so crazy. Huh? I think songs like this make you, and these wisdom traditions and the Bhagavatam make you do the big zoom out of say, what is important to me? What are the things I should be investing my time, my thoughts in on a regular basis?
So before you read this, why don't you go and grab your violin, Raghunath, and you can play along to this. And I had that violin solo, you remember?
No, I don't remember. I haven't listened to this. I'm going to listen to the song after the show. Maybe we can close with it today. It's not a real closer.
No, well,
it's a real sort of like, it's a sort of the end of the day. Maybe we'll, I'm thinking of maybe Mary, we do Sweet Baby Krishna tonight. What do you think? Sure. Sweet Baby Krishna tonight,
right.
7:30.
Eastern
Right. Good. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern time.
Late, okay.
Sweet Baby Krishna. All right. So here's the lyrics. I can sing it if you like. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes. A curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. So, okay, just hold on here.
Verse.
His dreams are dust in the wind. I dreamt of you last night, sir. I dreamt of you the last 2 nights.
Uh-oh.
But I don't remember them. You know why? They're dust in the wind, buddy. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be big. It's not big. I don't even remember it. That's how important. It was very important when it was happening. Like you and me were doing something very important. Now I don't remember it.
Yeah.
That's
And of course,
because you, my friend, are dust.
thanks. And I think here dreams can also indicate, the plans for your life, right?
Okay.
Or your
Yeah.
life's
Oh,
aspirations.
okay. Dreams like that. Yes,
Yeah.
that too.
Okay.
And sometimes our dreams never manifest. Like I really wanted to be a this or do a this with my life, and they never manifest. Or they do manifest, and there's still dust in the wind.
Either way, they're dust in the
Right?
wind. Yeah.
They did manifest. I did
just blow
become
away.
that celebrity, and it's dust in the wind.
Dust.
Okay. Now,
Next verse.
don't hang on.
No.
Nothing lasts
You skipped one.
forever. Oh, I'm sorry. Same old song. Just a drop of water in an endless sea. Oh my God, that's so Vedic. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see.
Mm.
Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
I think this is where the violin comes in.
Oh yeah, that is a good violin solo. I remember. All right. Now
Yeah, we
don't
refuse to
hang.
see.
Yeah, we refuse to see. We want to keep that. No. It's eternal. It's not eternal. It's eternal, but it's always in flux. What is eternal that doesn't change is the subtle. The subtle is the solid. The spirit is the solid. That's what we have to hold on to. We hold on to the material, and it crumbles. It crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These guys are like Mahatmas.
Okay.
It's like all the bands back then were deeply thoughtful.
No, Raghunath, they were not.
Right? And now we have like Slayer, Megadeth.
No, Raghunath, Slayer and Megadeth were like the 80s.
I'm living 30 years ago.
That was like 30 or 40 years ago. It's
Slayer,
worse.
Slayer are all dead.
It's
now.
almost worse.
They're dust also.
They're dust, yeah. Okay, next verse.
Do you remember Venom?
Vic Venom?
Is that what his name was? Vic Venom?
That guy Vic Venom used to have the Venom leather jacket, used to come to all the hardcore shows.
Oh no, I don't remember him.
Yeah.
Okay, now don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. Well, we'd say something different.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And that doesn't last forever. It slips away, and all your money won't buy, and all your money won't another minute buy. It won't buy all your money. You can't buy another minute.
Yeah, that always caught me how they pulled that poetic switching the grammar around on that one.
Yeah, right. You're yes.
And all your money won't another minute buy.
Well, that's it. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Vedic aphorism as well.
Dust in the wind. All we are is dust. Everything is dust in the wind. Everything except, right? Everything except the spiritual.
On the message board, Tim O'Reilly writes, Tom from Slayer and Dave from Megadeth are both into Jesus nowadays.
Yeah, swing that pendulum.
Yeah, swing it. And Brian Head from Korn. Everyone's into Jesus lately.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's been a sort of a Jesus is making a comeback. Good for them. I'm happy for them.
In any case, Raghunath, so this is, we're mentioning that here it is in the Kansas song, and in Kansas they're being inspired by Native American poetry, and we'll find it, in the Bible, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and of course we'll find so much of this written in the Vedic text, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads, and so on.
That's why I like stone walls, treasures, coin collecting.
And so
megalithic marvels.
So it's almost saying to us, that if we're not thinking about this, if we're not pondering this, regularly, if we're not bringing them, it says all our dreams, what was it? Everything, all we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. It's not even a conscious refusal, It feels like it's almost an instinctive kind of need to turn away from that stoic truth that very quickly everything that's dear to me is going to disappear. Like it's almost
like some cruel trick of nature, material nature.
Yeah, and naturally we turn away from it. And all these great spiritual traditions are saying you have to consciously bring your mind to this. You have to make an effort, to contemplate this. And if you do, it can transform this life in a very positive way. And it can give you the ability to kind of cross over, without it, you're stuck in the cycles of destruction. But with it, only once you become deeply aware of it, it gives you the ability to cross beyond it,
Sure.
I always think of that, because it kind of, for the person new to it, the question is going to be like, but do I waste this life thinking about life beyond this life? And I always think of you, when you visited that Laguna Beach temple for the first time, and it was all new to you. And someone said to you there, just give this one life to
Just
God.
give this one life to Krishna.
But this is all I got.
Oh, just this one. Okay, yeah. Well, he goes, you've given millions of lives to Maya.
Yeah, but from his perspective, from that zoomed out perspective, it's like, no, don't you see that time very quickly destroys everything that you're working on here? Just take this one little life and you can cross beyond it.
Right.
And I think you always like to bring up that point that if you really get it, it's not that this life, it's not just like this is the life of drudgery that you give up for the hope of a pie in the sky, but actually you enter into the timeless consciousness in this life. And even in this life, it makes it so much better.
Sure. What a cushion to, on a regular basis, your default is to zoom out. That's why I like to chant japa in cemeteries. You see, especially around here, you get these Revolutionary War cemeteries where you just see, oh, I get it. A plague knocked out 7 children. Here they are buried together. And you start to realize, like, families go down. The elder goes down. He only lived to 60. I'm almost 60 right now. And that's why I like to see, stone walls and just think, who the hell built this stone wall and where are they now? What the hell are they doing now? Megalithic marvels, civilizations that were up, going strong, thriving, decimated, wiped out, forgotten. It's important. It's important to ponder, Kostuba.
That's what I'm saying, Raghunath.
Because we are growing and it is changing, but our bodies are like the hands of a clock for the most part, meaning they're moving, but you don't notice them. Especially when you don't have a second hand, they're moving, but you don't notice them. I don't notice that I'm aging today. And I don't notice my kids are aging either. But if I don't see my kids for 3 months or 5 months or 6 months, or somebody doesn't see me, and sometimes people see me at a show and they know me from a record cover from 1988. And they'll say, oh my God, what the hell happened to you? I was like, yeah, I know. It's quite sad, isn't it? Or I'll do the same thing with other people. I haven't seen devotees in a long time, and we'll be in Mayapur or Vrindavan. I was like, oh, I haven't seen that devotee in 25 years. What the hell happened to them?
A lot of times with the devotees, it's like, you look the same.
A lot of times it's not also.
No, a lot of times it's not.
A lot of times it's
oh my
not.
God. But at a certain point, it kicks in.
Yeah, at a certain point, age kicks in. Yeah. But I will say there is like this natural, in the same way that gunas affect the time of day, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the gunas affect our ages as well. And I feel like if you add a lot of wisdom literature and practice of wisdom literature to your life, as you get older, you don't have to go to tamas. Just like in the evening of our sadhana, like in the evening of our day, you can really go to tamas quick. You can binge eat. You can just watch Netflix. You can drink a beer. So, what people do to, quote, wind down. Or you can add sadhana to your evening. That's a big part of a little more, like we have morning rituals. There's a big part of our evening rituals, a sadhana in our evening time.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the course of your lifetime, as in the spring of life, things are they're you could say maybe Vic, you're maybe you're a student and you're regulated and stuff like that. Then in the busyness of maybe married life, you've got dreams and passions and hopes. And in the end of life, north of 50, I would say, north of 50, you start to wind down. Your passions of enjoying the material world, if you add wisdom literature to your life, you almost inherently become a little wiser, because there's less hope of material enjoyment, because as we were saying earlier in a few shows ago, that window is closing. Those opportunities close in one sense. And some people say, well, there's always chance. You can always start. Yeah, in one sense, you can always start. But as you add wisdom to your life, you start to see this season of life for what it actually is. And actually, it removes a lot of mental baggage we carry around, baggage to try to impress people, baggage to try to out of control desires, or an idea of actually what is really quality in my life. What are the quality things I want to reach for? What do I want to do? You enjoy becoming more regulated. You enjoy sense control. You enjoy those things, especially as we're adding the wisdom teachings to our life. The season of our body will naturally go with it in the same way, winding down, like, reading Sweet Baby Krishna tonight. That it's a natural, wonderful way to wind down the day. And makes your whole day sort of meditative. You look forward to it in the evening, and you look forward to getting old instead of our old age being a burden.
It's like this culture, this yoga culture, this Vedic culture. It's amazing how it's like, okay, we're going to give you Vyasadeva, right? Srila Vyasadeva, great sage, Mahamuni, the great sage Vyasadeva, sitting in a cave, nestled way up there, at Bhadarika Ashram, compiling all of this, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavatam, for the benefit of us, for the benefit of the people of the Kali Yuga, right? I need to get this down. It has to be written. It has to be provided in such a way where it's just not overwhelming, dense philosophy. I need to provide it through stories. But these truths about life, they need to be conveyed in a way that the culture can absorb it. And his writings just permeated the total, the spiritual, the philosophical, the whole cultural life of India and everything that followed it, And so as a child, you'd hear these stories, and they would entertain you and excite you, and it would be what your mind kind of the foundation of your thinking. And then as you're passing through all the different stages of life, it's informing you, in your decision making. And as you get older, like you're saying, it's like you're pouring the same water, but you're kind of like processing it on deeper and deeper levels as you go, to the point where you can be entirely detached from the things of this world. You can see that time factor operating and realizing that it's urging you to transcend, to go beyond. So you got this. It's given us such an incredibly rich literary tradition that just transforms your life from beginning to end.
The desires could be compared to a fever, almost. Like, it's sort of like, I need, I want, gotta have, must have it, right? Maybe the highest fever would be like an addiction, where you're just like, I gotta get that now.
All your dreams.
Yeah. But as we add this wisdom literature to our ears and consciousness, and as we apply it, you will see a release in that fever. The fever will go down. And when we say fever, I'm not saying about, we got to dream big. It's not like that. It's an exhaustive type of dreaming. Those desires exhaust us. And they sort of can oftentimes just create sort of like a heat, like a fever, like desire on top of desire. unharnessed and can burn us out. And so if you suffer from that and you notice it, that's a first thing, but you will see it reduce as you add bhakti to your life. If you're struggling with that right now, great news, this stuff works. Great news, this is, doctor approved. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend bhakti for your out of control material desires.
All right.
That other doctor, he's a Maya body. Okay. He doesn't recommend bhakti. Okay. Let's get into our good stuff here. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Before starting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Whew. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 20. It's getting exciting here. Young Prahlad. He's got his desires under control. He ponders.
Okay.
That's our word of the day today. Ponder.
Yeah, little Prahlad now is offering his prayers that are very much enriched with philosophical insight into life. Theological, philosophical. Just a little boy.
Before we get on, what do you think of yesterday's interview with Parthasarathi? A lot of stuff came up for me. Huh? What did you say?
I thought it was very nice.
It was very nice. I was just thinking about witnessing people dying right in front of you, running to them with a shalagram Sheila, putting Tulsi in their mouth. If you missed that interview yesterday, it was with the person who was in the, what's that called when you... It was in the Iraq War. He was deployed 3 times, head of a platoon. It was like, and he had so many interesting stories. And, witnessing people dying right in front of you. Then I started thinking, after the show, I just started thinking, who were these people that at the end of their life, Lord Vishnu came to them in the form of a deity, in the form of Tulsi, in the form of someone chanting in their ears. I was just thinking some interesting dust in the wind. Like we hear for a moment, 20 years, 30 years, and then they're off to war. And then all of a sudden, Lord Vishnu gets, the mantras get chanted into their ear at the time of death. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Dust in the wind. All right. So here we are, text 20. And this is Prahlad offering prayers.
Hit it.
I'm just thinking, these bhakti prayers, it's not like gimme, gimme, gimme. That is sort of like how I grew up praying. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I need some more. It's just devotion. And it's interesting. And devotion is gratitude. And when you have gratitude, something interesting happens. You get anyway. You get what you want when you have gratitude. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to a small ant, works under the influence of, they all work under the influence of these 3 modes.
So what does that mean? Let's try to encapsulate that very quickly. Right?
It means you got a type of body and a type of mind that have desires. And they're carved out by material nature from previous desires. And so all this karma acts almost as like some celestial puppeteer where it appears we have free will, but I'm still going for what the instincts of my body want. and those and what my mind want, and those are shaped due to, for example, I was born into an Italian American New York body. There's a type of karma that comes with that, and I have passions that sort of go with that. I have a bloodline that comes with that, and because of that, my passions are carved out this certain way where I think I'm making a choice. Yet I could be making some choice because I've had an addictive bloodline for many, many generations. And now it appears like I'm making some choice, but I'm acting on some almost like base instinct that's controlled by material nature. What do you think about
you can
that?
say that. I mean, yeah, all that. I would say like there are subtle influences, right?
Yeah.
That are working through our minds as we connect with anything in this world, anything material in this world, that every object that whether it be a sound, whether it be something that we see or touch, you know, the places that we're at, the people that we're associating with, the music that we hear, the food that we eat, these yogis understood.
Sure.
And again, that same sage Vyasadeva, you know, wrote about this so that we could understand it. That, in one sense, all of these, we said it not long ago, I think, just like a screen has pixels that are like 3 different colors, right?
Sure.
It's only 3 different colors, but you blend them in certain ways, and they can make all sorts of colors and all sorts of images. So these yogis said that this world is made up of 3 different energies, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic energies. They blend in all kind of ways, and they create forms. And the forms are, every form is made out of a blend of these 3 energies, but the influence of one of the energies predominates it and radiates from it. And subtly it affects, like you're saying, our decision making. It is true that we have free will, but it becomes filtered through these influences. And only if you become very aware of these influences do you stand a chance of becoming truly free. Otherwise, we're kind of getting dragged around.
We're getting dragged around like a dog sniffing around. And the way you explain it is so nice, because it sounds like, oh, I get it. This is a scientific process. You put this into the filter, it's going to make everything appear red. You put this filter on, everything is blue. And when I first started Bhakti Yoga and Krishna consciousness, everything at that point made sense. This is why I don't want to eat at a restaurant, because that food is going to affect my consciousness a certain way. This is why I don't want to eat these particular foods, because it's going to affect my consciousness. They're all going to be different filters. This is why I don't associate with this or these people or that type of talk, the mundane idle talk, or people who speak of degrading things. This is why I'm not going to let this in my consciousness, because it's creating me. Whereas when I was younger and I would see like a nun on the subway, I was thinking, what a lousy life she's living.
Lousy.
What a lousy, unfun life she's living. What is the matter with you? Go out, take that. What's that called? A habit? A hobbit? What do they wear?
Habit.
A habit. Take that habit off. Let your hair down. You know, go to the drag races tonight. Have some fun.
Drag race.
That's what we do in upstate New York. We go to the races.
Yeah. So the yogis are saying, we may not know it, but in a sense, we're in a realm where our mind is susceptible to outside influences, and that, you know, the clarity of our thinking, it's being altered by these influences.
Sure.
You know, the intensity of our desires, our emotions, they're all being influenced by. We all kind of know that if I go here, I may feel like that, or when I go over there, I think more like that.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, if I watch, that's why I don't watch certain movies.
Yeah. If I watch this movie.
Are you kidding? If I watch one murder movie, I am like, the baseball bats and axes hidden in my house will double. I'll double it. I'll have extra axes. I'll just think everyone's out to kill me at every minute.
Okay.
Like, and I'll look around at people. Who's the murderer here? Stuff like that. When I engage my mind in like true crime stuff, forget it. I'm ready to fight everybody off.
Okay. So again, what these yogis are saying is that these 3 influences, the one influence makes us more clear and lucid and simple and satisfied. One influence makes us kind of like desire more, like I'm not satisfied, I'm not content, I need to achieve more or achieve something that I don't have to be satisfied. And one influence is more like just darker, like more destructive, you know, it goes towards laziness or destruction. That every object that I'm encountering, these three are woven into it. And in every circumstance that I'm moving around this world, it's affecting me. The yogi's saying, I need to rise above that. I need to become very conscious of it. I need to learn how to not be a victim of it, but how to pass through it in the most intelligent way. So Prahlad's speaking to that here. He said, why don't you start the verse again with that background?
Can't wait till you come here so I can show you the armory that is Super Soul Farm, the weapons. Okay. My dear Lord, everywhere in this material world is everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, hard to believe that Brahma is also, down to the
I guess
down to the small ant, works under the influence of these gunas, these modes. Okay. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy.
Okay.
The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, right?
Yeah.
The matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final. That's a good, what is the goal of your life? Some people don't even think of the goal. And the process for obtaining this goal. What am I going to do to get there?
It's just dust in the wind.
All are nothing but manifestations of your energy.
Okay.
Indeed, since the energy and the energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you.
So, so Prahlad, in a sense, it's almost like a lawyer or someone writing like a PhD thesis that's just constructing an argument in a sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is going to lead to like, I'm sitting here struggling in this world. We just saw the person that seemed to be the best at manipulating the material energy for his own enjoyment go down in the most gruesome way. Time, now everything that he had is now dust in the wind. And we're understanding that the entire world is functioning by your direction. So if I want, we're all kind of getting crushed by time. If I want to transcend it, I should look to you, right? Because all of this is indeed your energy. Okay, so he's building an argument in a sense.
Can I ask you two a question?
As long as it's not too much of a squirrel.
No, it's not. It's not. You too, Mary. You gotta. Did you pray, Kostuba, when you were growing up? Did you pray a lot?
Not a lot. No, not very much. I mean, maybe at some point. Not really.
Mary, did you pray?
Yeah, not so much.
Jesus. I prayed like an altar boy. I was always praying. All right, interesting. Yet you're very religious now. Now you always pray. Interesting.
I mean,
okay.
Anyway,
I just curious. That's all we have to do.
I believed in God. I pretty much always, but I don't think I was really engaged in prayer. I didn't really know what to.
Well, I didn't either. Mine weren't pure devotional. Mine was up there with the bird people. I was just praying. I was praying for stuff. That's all. Just give me stuff, please. Like Amazon Prime, Okay, my dear, O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's a fever, unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of karma kanda, fruitive activity, and the 16 elements. Pass. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter of your lotus feet?
He's further developing the argument. Right. Now, very interesting. Very interesting here. So he's saying, okay, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. So he's saying the world that we live in, even the bodies that we're in, they're all it's ingredients, just like a batter. You have a batter, and that batter will just sit there like batter until it's agitated, right? You could say it's like the yeast, or you could say it's like the heat. And the heat transforms it and begins to take a certain shape. And he's saying all of this is all the ingredients are your energy. And then with the power of the element of time is like the heat, or time is like the yeast, however you want to call it. And it makes it take on different shapes. So it takes on the shape of our bodies. It takes on the shape of the world that we live in. It's all your stuff. And then you even provide them, then in order to fulfill the desire. I've been listening to a lot of these YouTube videos about like philosophers, talking about, especially you get like these Christian philosophers, or usually they're Christian philosophers. It's funny because it's like there's a lot of content out there that's like Christian philosophers speaking with atheists.
Sure. Yep.
And it's always like, guys, there are answers to these questions. Like karma pretty much like clears the whole thing up.
It's amazing how it's like, will you just listen to the Hare Krishnas for a moment, please?
Yeah.
Just sit down. I know you guys are bickering here, but we can help you both.
Yeah. So like they struggle and they play with these ideas like, well, if God is good and God doesn't want us to suffer, then why doesn't he just tell everybody what to do? Well, he does it in the Bible, but not everybody's read the Bible. What about the people before the Bible? What about, it's kind of like,
that's where you should come in and say, slow down, slow it down.
But the idea, this is a little bit more, a little less simplistic. The idea is that we want to live separately from God.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fulfilling our desire to do so. We have free will, because free will is a vital ingredient or a vital aspect of love, which is the very purpose of all existence. So if we're going to love eternally, we're going to need to have free will. And if we have free will, that means that you might engage it in any way that you want. So certain living beings, amongst this unlimited totality of living beings, have the desire that I want to enjoy separately from the Creator, separately from my source, separately from the divine. I want to experiment as if I were an independent living being that is not intrinsically connected to its divine source. Right?
Yes.
It's okay.
It's like a teenager. It's always like comes
just
down
like
to
a teenager.
It's like, you know what? I just want to do what I want to do, and I know you have rules, Mom, but I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
And even though they're not, but it's yes.
Yeah. And so with that background, you could say, therefore, Krishna expands through his plenary portions, creates the subtle bodies of the living entities, creates all the external energy, agitates it with the element of time, so that it's all moving now, and provides, here it's saying it provides Vedic directions, the Karma Kanda. He provides these sacred texts that are saying, if you want to you could go through this like it's kind of like the parent telling teenager, you could go through it like a blind idiot and really suffer. Or if you want to live separately, let me give you some advice about how you might do it better.
Sure.
And and knowing that it's good for their character, knowing that it's for their well-being, that's the Karma Kanda. That's the section of the Vedas that says, here's how to enjoy the material world in a intelligent way that's harmonious with nature, with God and the gods and the goddesses and all of that. It's living separately from your source is something that you got to mature from, but it's a healthier way to go. So he provides the Karma Kanda teachings.
It's exactly like raising teenagers.
It's just like raising,
because you get to a certain point where they want some independence. Now, some teenagers are really submissive. It's rare, but they're sort of trying to find themselves. They're very submissive, and you lay down certain rules, and this is how you can do it. This is how you can not go off the tracks here. You will protect yourself from the train wrecks that you see so many teenagers go through. And some will take it seriously, but a lot of times they won't. We've created a culture where it tempts people off the tracks. It brings them right to the brink of disaster.
It's powerful energy.
And if you're a parent that cares and wants to love them, you'll give them some, what's the word? Some
Guidelines,
not guidelines. You'll give them guidelines, but you'll give them some
freedom.
guardrails, freedom, like that, like concession. You'll give them a concession. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Listen. Okay. I know you guys like to stay up late. What do you say? You come back by 11 on Friday night.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. I think that's reasonable.
And some kids are going to say, you know what? No.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I
mean,
wanna do.
there has to be a point where you say, okay, you're not following any rules, then you're free, then you're out there, and then you're dominated by whatever your karma is, really, whatever your mind is at, or where your influences are at.
You'll have to learn the hard way.
So you got to give them some concession so you can still have some, so you can still lead them. And the Vedas give that concession. You got desires, you can try this Vedic formula. You got some other desires, you can try worshiping these devas or devis. You got and so it is like that. And so we have stumbled upon pure devotional service. And even within pure devotional service, we get it. We still might need a concession. And like our some of our questions were this weekend in the Q&A day, there still might be some concession. I get it, but still. Okay, that's okay. Here's what you can do.
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter.
So again, in building this argument, he's saying you've created this energy so that we can go and play independently in it, but it's very powerful. If we're going to experience this world as separate from you, we need to be an illusion because nothing's separate from you. If we're going to feel like we're the controllers, we're really going to need to be an illusion. And once you go into that illusion, it's hard to get out. There's a lot of suffering in it, and it's difficult to get out. So Prahlad's saying, how does one get out without turning back to you? Right? Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet.
Mm-hmm. I like that. 22, right? My dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents.
Those are part of the ingredients that we're talking about that get agitated by time.
But you are transcendental to their material qualities. You're not of them. Time doesn't affect you. The three modes, you're not influenced by those. You're beyond it all. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control, and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My dear Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I'm being crushed by the wheel of time. Oh, yes, we are. And therefore, I surrender fully unto you. Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet.
Okay, there's the heavy statement, right? He's saying, if we're really, this is what a song like Dust in the Wind is meant to help you realize, right?
Crushed by the wheels of time.
I'm trying to build things, but all my dreams, I thought this was a really heavy line here. He says, all my dreams pass before my eyes a curiosity. There's moments, especially as you get older, there's really profound moments where you realize everything, like I imagine this is what a divorce is like, or this is what, I don't know, there's points in our life where we have to walk through a door and not turn back. And then you become accustomed to another life. A marriage is like that. Moving from one place to another can be
changing
like that.
homes,
Changing
like you'll never go in that apartment again. That's over.
And then it becomes a curiosity, right? It's like you used to identify, live in it,
right?
And then you're removed from it, and you look at it like it used to be your life, and now it's a curiosity. It's like
Going back and visiting a childhood home. It's like wow. Yeah, they're like.
And then when something's dear to you and it becomes so meaningful to you, and then time removes you from it, then you're like, I'm getting crushed by this wheel. It's a wheel that keeps moving, keeps rolling. And whatever I have, whatever I try to build, whatever I try to hold on to, just gets crushed.
I like that. All right.
Did you read that whole verse?
Did I read it all? Yeah. Yes.
Text 23. Take me into the protection.
My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life. Maybe not anymore. Maybe they don't get that, but they do want. People are into these longevity herbs and things like that. I want to live a long time.
Yeah.
Right? They want to be elevated to higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father, right?
Okay.
His father had everything.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma Bhuvana Loka. You know this? Puna Avartino Arjuna.
Yeah.
From the highest planet to the material world to the lowest planet. They're all places of suffering. Why? Why is the highest planet a place of suffering? Because you have to leave it. You have to give it up. It's just like saying, congratulations, you're staying at the Four Seasons. You got the best room, but you got to check out by 11 tomorrow. It's like it's not like you can't hang pictures. You know, don't get too comfortable there. You're there for a night. This is the material world. So he sees his father had everything. Even the demigods are working for his father, and now he's gone. And now everything's dust. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows.
So he was as powerful as it gets.
It doesn't, yeah. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Boom.
So we're being granted here the perspective of Prahlad, the perspective of someone who's personally witnessed a materialist operating at the highest level. It's Vyasadev's way of sharing with humanity over the course of millennia how to see the world. Let me give you the world through the vision of Prahlad. You may think there's still hope in material life because I just haven't operated on a high enough level. He's saying, don't even think like that, because I've witnessed the person that operated as the highest level materialist. He even conquered Indra. Everyone was terrified. He was so powerful. And everything that he had just got crushed like that. Right? He really tried. Not only that, he tried to put so many safeguards to his power in place. I can't be killed at day or night. I can't be killed indoor, outdoor. I can't be killed by man or beast. He thought no one's ever going to do a better job of trying to safeguard their material power. He got those blessings from the creator of the universe, Brahma, you know. So no one could ever do a better job, and still crushed immediately, you know, dust in the wind like that. So it's Vyasa's way, the compiler of these ancient texts. It's his way of just sharing for us a perspective that we just can't bypass. We can't say, yeah, well, that's true, but if someone operated on a material level more effectively, then this could all work out. No, it's not going to work out. All right, Rug, you know what we hear tomorrow?
Oh, man, it's 7:58. It's time to go.
Yeah, but tomorrow,
I love
we
you
get
tomorrow.
to hear the positive alternative. Well, if you don't want the things of this world, Prahlad, then what do you want? What is it that okay, these are the things that the wise person doesn't endeavor for: material benefits, material pleasures, knowing that they're all become dust in the wind. Then what is it that you do want? We hear that tomorrow. We're gonna cliffhanger.
The sun will come out. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom Kastuba that tomorrow. Mara, what are the takeaways?
I got some good takeaways. Don't invest too much time and anxiety in the minutia of daily life.
No, don't do it. We gotta keep those
Good word,
takeaways
Raghunath, right?
shorter.
Minutia.
You like that minutia? I like that too.
Because it
You
kind
keep
of had
that.
minutia in there. It sounds kind of like
Yeah, minutia.
hey, minutia.
The subtle is the solid.
The subtle is the solid.
Very
Bum bum.
deep.
Like
Very
that
deep,
one.
Raghunath.
Hold on to spirit. Everything else is dust in the wind.
Okay. Hold on loosely, but don't let go. Raghunath. There's another MTV video for you.
What's that? Who's that?
It's one of those southern rock bands.
Southern rock bands
I
have
can't even
videos?
remember, fortunately.
Okay.
38 Special.
What was the first video you remember seeing?
The first video that MTV played.
So Whip It?
No. Video
No?
killed the radio star very appropriately.
It did.
Linda knows 38 Special. She's a
Really
southern girl.
did.
She knows the deal.
Okay, go on.
Add wisdom to age gracefully.
Oh, yeah?
Pour a little of that wisdom on there.
It's important to ponder and zoom out.
Very important.
Unharnessed desires can burn us out. Add bhakti for burn relief.
Oh, the salve.
You like that?
Right. I like that. The aloe vera. Okay, go on.
Everything Hiranyakashipu had is dust in the wind.
Yeah.
Devotion is gratitude.
I like that. I like that. It begins with gratitude.
We've got to check out of the hotel room of the material body tomorrow.
What time?
Check out of the Hotel
7 a.m.
California.
Check out.
Is that a spiritual song, Hotel California?
Hotel California.
Yeah.
It's definitely about like the miseries of
Governor Newsom?
hedonistic kind of, like taking that materialism to the max,
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Didn't know that.
Life
So
in
you
the
know the
fast lane.
lyrics of these songs. That's why I like you.
Is that why you like them?
That's one of the reasons why I like you.
We're being crushed by the wheel of time.
Crushed.
And
Henry wrote Delight. Did they have a video? They were later, Henry. Delight. I went to high school with DJ Dimitri. Isn't that crazy? From Delight. Remember
I don't know
Delight?
DJ Dimitri Ragnar.
I know you don't know him, but you know Delight.
I don't even know. I guess he
That
was in
band,
it.
Delight. He was in the band.
I'm not familiar with Delight.
and hug and release.
Yes, hug and then release.
Hug and release. Hug, hold again, and then release. There we go. Thanks everybody for joining us. Tomorrow we're back at 7 a.m. Thanks for everybody who was writing me and said they got the book. Go to Amazon, Amazon.com or Goodreads and write me a review, please. Also, if you like our podcast, that's something you can do right now. You can go to the YouTube page. You can like, follow, subscribe, comment on our videos, share them with people that you love. Maybe this one, maybe share this one. You can comment on them as well. But send us a review at Apple Podcasts for the for this podcast, and Amazon and Goodreads.com for my book if you like it. I'm still waiting for Kostuba to write that review. He just doesn't listen to the audiobook.
Listen to the audio.
Don't you want to know what I said about you?
I've been a little curious.
It was something like, "Oh, Master
Tell me what
Raghunath,
page.
please instruct me. I
page
can
is
help
that?
you, my son."
No, I do look forward to reading it. It's just got to be the right time. I'm trying to write a book right now.
I know it might inspire you to write your book.
No, it's a whole different thing.
I'm getting lots of good feedback from the publisher and from.
Is it selling well?
It's selling well. They said they're really excited.
That's great.
Looking forward to it. So
Is it in the bookstores?
yeah, somebody said it told me in Barnes and Noble. Johnny B. Pretty.
She saw it in
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble?
Johnny B. Pretty. She just said she gets at Barnes and Nobles on 82nd Street. The guy said, "Who is this? What is this book? Everyone's buying it."
Look at that.
Look at that! Barnes and Nobles.
That's great.
I know, it feels good. But it feels really good because it's just not my story. It's the message. It's the message coming through a story. And that's what's good. And that's why it's.
Oh, you're so humble.
Well,
It's not really about me.
Well, it's not. It's not. It's how the message penetrates our life.
That's great.
The word. Like Christ never said be Christians. He said follow the word. Follow the word. There's a word out there. Buddha wasn't trying to make Buddhists. Trying to teach a word, trying to teach the truth.
Nice.
It's like Pastor
So you're
Truth.
saying you're like Buddha?
I'm a cross between Buddha and perhaps Jesus.
Okay. Your mother would be upset.
With that twist noses. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Oh, we're planting grass seed today in our edible forest. Thanks, everybody. We're going to go. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day, and it's